Welcome to the Imperfect Dads Podcast. This is your host, Devin. We believe dads care deeply about their family and kids, but they don't always have a space to discuss what their life looks like. Our podcast is a space for dads to discuss the ups and downs of fatherhood and how they feel like they're holding it together or how they're not. Thank you for joining us for this episode. This podcast is part of the Never a Face Network. Make sure to follow them on Instagram or go to the website neverafacenetwork.com. On this episode, we have on painter and artist Jennifer McCaffrey. Jennifer and I have been friends since kindergarten, so she's a lifelong friend. If you have any lifelong friends, you know how much time goes by between talking to each other, and when you have a podcast, you just make them be on the show to catch up about life. But really, we talked about Jennifer getting ready to have a fourth child, buying snacks at COSTCO, knowing kids won't eat some of the snacks from Costco, her love of space, how motherhood makes her deal with her perfectionism and people-pleasing tendencies, how she started painting, deciding to do painting full-time, and what it was like to decide to change careers after you already had one established. Just like one more thing.
Dad, just start the episode.
Oh, my bad.
Okay, so I'll start with this comment of just, okay, so I've known you since kindergarten. If I were to put a title on our friendship, it would be From Bowl Cuts and Plaid Skirts to Adulthood would be the title of our overarching friendship arch, just so you know.
I wish I could have joined you in the bowl cut. I never had a bowl cut era like you did.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, well...
Okay, you did have the plaid skirt era, though. So, I mean, that's like about
really
as early
did.
90s.
You know, the 90s were such a beautiful time for fashion. And I stick to that. Yeah.
Do you ever wonder, do you remember like being a kid? My parents didn't do this, but it's definitely a thing. Going to like the department store and taking the family photos. Like, do you ever want to somehow bring that back? Like, stop with the really artsy family photos and stuff next to family, fun fall trees. But like, let's go back to Sears. Let's revive a Sears for family photos.
Even like, I remember going into Walmart and at the very front, when you walk in, like to the left, there's the photo studio and you could just decide. You could be like, well, I'm here with my 2-year-old and their face is pretty clean. So let's do it. Let's go.
Let's do it. And like you could change, like, do you remember like the background? So like you'd be sitting there like holding a paintbrush on like a step stool or something. And then it'd be like a galaxy behind you. That's the nostalgia.
I do want to bring that back. It's like, this says everything you need to know about me. I love space. I love art. That's who I am. Yeah.
And you love your kids. So if you can combine them all.
Yeah. I feel like that that was so specific, Devin, but you kind of actually just nailed who I am with that photo prompt background thing.
Yeah.
Currently really into space and art.
Are you really?
Kinda, yeah. I love that stuff.
I didn't realize how many people in Colorado work on spaceships. Like, I knew there were a lot of engineering jobs out here, but like, I have a guy in our neighborhood. He didn't work on the Artemis, but one of the guys he works with, like the suspension mechanics for like whenever they hit the water, his entire job was for like a decade working on like test running it, making sure whenever they land, how does it absorb all the shock? And I'm like, whoa. That is, I have a new respect for space launches because I realize they literally obsess over every single detail, and it's kind of fascinating.
I love that so much. It's just so great to see competency in action, really a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it is. And just people thinking things through and wondering if I do this, what happens next. And that's just really.
Yeah, it is like the most soothing thing in today's climate. I think that's why everyone was so into it.
I will relate this to parenting because pretty much all of my life is looking at small humans and being like, if you do this, this happens next. And just them hopefully not doing the next step because they understand consequences. And that's not a commonly shared taught thing is what I feel like some days.
I couldn't agree more. We're all about the natural consequences in our house. Like, okay, you don't want to wear shoes? It's the middle of winter. All right. You'll figure out real quick why we do usually insist on that. Yeah, works really well.
Sometimes, I don't know. I'm sure you also have like at least one or two stubborn kids who's like, I'm not cold. And you're like, I can, like your teeth are chattering. Like, I know you're cold. You're freezing. Please just put on some damn socks.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. But I also feel like maybe that's a rite of passage that they have to see to the other side. Like, as long as their toes aren't going to actually fall off. I'm like,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
if you want to tell me you're not cold, all right.
Yeah.
I don't
I
believe
just,
you at all.
I feel bad. I feel bad for my kids because as a Taurus, like I'm just like, I will out stubborn you on
Yeah,
everything. So like, please, let's not start this fight. Please
that's
don't.
right.
It's going to be
That's
bad.
right.
Let's
It's
not do
in
this.
you. It's in your DNA. You
Mm-hmm.
know, the one
It
thing that
is.
I do find that I really draw the line on is going potty. I'm like, all right, but if I know that you need to go, I will pull out all the bribes so that you'll do it before we leave. Like, if you say you don't want to wear a coat, I'm going to pack one for you. I'll tell you fine. And
Yeah.
then when you do finally cave, 3 hours from now, I will be your hero because I'll whip it out, be like, look what I've got. I'm a great mom.
Yeah.
But the potty thing is
Exactly.
a hard line. I'm like, nope, not dealing with that.
Yeah. The other day, Josh was like, when we get there, do they have bathrooms? And I was like, just use the bathroom here. And he was like, oh, okay. And I was like, oh, that was an easy discussion. That's great.
It's beautiful that worked out.
It was very sweet. It worked out great.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect.
Okay. Okay. I haven't asked you yet. Let's do how many kids you got? Ages. You can also do, like you're pregnant. So I mean, like you've got the fourth one coming.
Yeah.
So kids,
Yeah.
ages, all that good stuff.
All right. So I've got Mac, who's 7, Nell, who's 5, and Mary, who's 3. They would say almost 8, 5.5, 3.5, to be clear.
Yeah, of course.
And one on the way that's due in August 7th. So we're going to have a wild house of like 2 Scorpios, 2 Leos, maybe, possibly, probably. So that'll be a fun little den. And as someone who's like very naturally, like I am absolutely a recovering people pleaser, perfectionist, passive by nature, to be in a household with a bunch of very strong personalities that do not take it from anybody is so humbling.
I love that your kids are bringing you on this journey where it's almost like if you say the polite thing, they just don't take your shit. There's like, no, mom, what do you actually want? Like, tell me, like, just tell me. And I love that for you.
Yeah, my son will straight up he's the 7-year-old, almost 8.
Yeah,
and he will
you gotta
just
clarify.
be like, no, I don't want to. No, I don't want to play with them. I don't want to do that. I don't really like them. I'm like, it's like so triggering to me as someone who wants to make everyone happy. And I really have had to retrain my brain to be like, that's not an incorrect way to live in the world. It's just different from me. It's just very honest. It's very, very honest. And where am I lying all the time? Am I just walking around trying to make everyone happy and lying all the time? This is the internal work that I've had to do as a mom of very direct kids.
Yep. Well, because it's like, I remember if you have like a neighborhood kid or they go to school and like that kid pushes or like they aren't good with their emotions, so they more physical than like using words. And then your kid is like, I don't want to play with that kid. They'll punch me. And I'm like, well, I don't think you should play with that kid either. No,
it's like,
don't do
that's
that.
actually a really good reason. Yeah. Thanks for telling me that. And maybe I shouldn't just default to, no. You need to, nice thing is, or like the polite thing is what you should do.
Yes.
But that's also probably that's a lot of things. It's like growing up in the Midwest, growing up in an evangelical Christian household. That's a lot of things that, to untangle there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you do know that child will now burn in hell because you weren't nice to them. Like you didn't show them Jesus. So they're currently burning in hell because you weren't polite to one small child. So I forgot I'm sorry. There's actually a list of people that have gone to hell because of you being slightly rude and honest. And that's just what you have to deal with when you die. I'm so sorry, Jennifer.
You're just speaking my nightmares.
I relate to you on that. I also have strong people-pleasing tendencies of just thinking like, oh, if I'm nice to this, like I assume if I can make someone feel validated and seen, then it'll be helpful to them. And then they'll be like more open. Then they'll be able to like deal with their shit. And like, that's not reality is what I've found. And I also have to untrain myself from thinking if I'm nice to someone, maybe they'll grow in some way.
Right. Yeah. You've got that helper in you. Like you always want to be the one.
Sadly.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not a bad thing.
No.
But know thyself.
Learning what's your responsibility is something that's like fascinating to teach, to be like, hey, what's like, I don't know how much of life now is like learning a healthy boundary for yourself, learning whenever you've overextended yourself, and whenever you've taken on a responsibility that you never needed to take on is very much as I get older, something I'm constantly understanding and dealing with.
For sure. I'm actually really excited to have this fourth baby because I think it's gonna, I don't know, having three leveled me up in that way where it's like, well,
Hmm.
I don't actually have any time for any of this anymore. Any
Yeah.
of this,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, nonsense, playing around, extra stuff, trying to please people. There's literally no time. And I feel like with four, I'm gonna really it's gonna be my path to enlightenment and
Yes.
self-actualization. Pretty sure. Pretty sure. Parents of four, you can comment back and
Right.
tell me if I'm right.
Right. I talked to a dad where like we related on really liking sad songs and being like emo and
Yeah,
wanting to stare off into the rain and stuff. And then you have kids and you're
absolutely.
like, I don't have time for this. Like literally, like you're sitting there and you're like, I just want to listen to Damien
Yeah.
Rice on vinyl. And your kid's like, what is this? And you're like, oh, not the time. All right, never mind. Never mind. My bad.
They're more like, "Mom, mom, mom, it said, what do parrots eat? Mom." You're like,
You ruined this bridge. That's what I
all
want to say to
right,
my
you
kids
took me
sometimes. Like
right out of
this,
it. Yeah. Not
like, I'm
enjoy the
sorry.
song
The
anymore.
It's just that, like, don't you understand that Elephant by Damien Rice, it's very sporadic vocal for the entire verses. And then for the bridge, he hones it in to be very focused to bring the point home, then goes back to vocal range. That's crazy. Don't you and they're like, give me the damn milk, dad. And you're like, all right, that's fine. That's probably the
Like,
right
this
decision
is
here.
the
Here we go.
wrong banana.
I grabbed the green one. Don't we eat green ones? You're like, no, I just wanted 5 minutes to listen to a song.
Yeah, no, sorry. I did talk to someone one time who had studied a lot of Buddhism and Buddhist like
Yeah.
practices and thought, and they were like, well, I learned from a teacher once that parents actually don't really need to meditate that much because they're already doing it all the time, probably.
Mm.
And that made me feel great. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
awesome. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll take
Um,
it. Yeah.
do you do any like actual meditation? I've done it before. It's not a normal practice for me. I find meditation fascinating. I am just really bad at it because I live in a Western world with a Western mindset and think I should be accomplishing things at all times.
Oh my gosh, I'll tell you what, meditation for me is exactly like prayer. And I think they're very similar in that it's my emergency lever. So for
Yeah.
example, every time I've had the past 2 years, we talked about this a little at the beginning, of the past 2 years, I've had like these back to back orthopedic injuries, which is just
Yeah.
not fun to not be able to walk around when you're trying to take care
Yeah.
of three kids and work and all that stuff. And each time I've had this whole crisis of self where I hate asking for help. I hate being a
Hmm.
burden on anyone because I'm an oldest daughter who does it all herself, and really being capable is a huge pillar, central pillar of my personality. And when I come to this point where I am forced to accept that I'm mortal, I
Hmm.
have to slow down. I have to ask for help because I can't walk, can't carry things when I'm on crutches. Each time, the only thing that's gotten me through that is meditation. I love the Headspace
Cool.
app. It's great. But I think it's
Yeah.
the only thing that I can equate to like, it brings my brain back to a more grounded and neutral set point in the same way that exercise usually does for me.
Hmm.
And when you can't exercise, then it's a really great tool. So I love it. And I
Yeah.
wish that I were disciplined enough to do it when I'm not laid up in bed with a splint on. But I do think that um I don't know. Maybe I can go back to what that Buddhist friend said, like it's okay because I'm parenting all the time, and that's kind of meditating.
Right.
Meditating in the moment. Yeah.
It feels like having a bunch of like knowing a lot of healthy recipes, but not making them until you feel fat, until you feel like really
Yeah.
uncomfortable in your own body. You're like, I need to eat healthier. And it's like, you could have been making this meal like for months,
You
man. Like, what do you like? You don't
yeah,
have to
like
wait until this moment.
it's just as easy to buy the baby carrots as it is
Yeah.
to buy the Cheez-Its, but
Cheez Its.
I love
What's your,
Cheez-Its.
okay, this is one of my favorite questions to ask people is how's your snack drawer game? Like for the kids and stuff. Like, how's your pride in your snack drawer?
Man, okay, I have a really like hot and cold relationship with Costco right now, where what
Okay. Yeah.
happens
Yeah.
is, yeah, this is very related to my relationship with Costco, my relationship to my snack drawer.
Okay. So I'm sorry.
So
Not only like you're just jumping in immediately being like, not only you have a relationship with Costco, like as if
yeah,
like you have like a push and pull with one of
I
the
do.
biggest like grocery stores.
It's a situationship. And
Okay.
the
Okay.
reason why is because if I go there alone, I make great choices for my family and our snack drawer rocks.
Yeah.
If I go there with
Yeah.
my children, they will convince me that they want freeze dried mushrooms because they're delicious in the
What?
store when you're getting the
Yeah.
sample.
Yeah.
This is currently in my snack drawer. And they're like, we love it. So much so that I like put it back on the shelf and I was like, no, you don't. You think you do because you just had a sample, but you're
Yeah.
never going to eat that at
Yep.
home. And then they cried until I went back and got it. The
No.
5 and 3-year-old. I know. So I had to go like crying kids in a cart in Costco. I had to go back and get the mushrooms, which I was like, they will never eat this. Guess
Never
what?
ever.
Guess what? I
Yeah.
was right.
Yes.
So my snack drawer is mixed, and it really depends on who's gone
Okay.
grocery shopping with me most recently.
Okay. Okay.
Eventually, we're gonna have to let
What's
those
your
mushrooms go.
You will. But there's gonna, you know, the second you do is whenever they'll open up the snack drawer and be like, "Hey, mom, I was about to eat those
Hey,
mushrooms. Do you know where they are? Where did
and
they
I'll
go?"
pretend like I don't. No,
Yeah, yeah.
have you seen them?
Hmm.
I wonder where
What's
we
that?
put them.
Huh.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Hmm.
Actually, I think we might have planted them outside. You should go spend the next hour looking for them
Maybe
outside,
they'll
and we'll be
grow
happier.
into fresh mushrooms.
I love thinking about what our snack drawers would have been like because like it's like one thing I
Yeah.
constantly think of is like yeah, like my kids don't like Gushers, they don't drink soda. And I'm like that's
Uh,
good. Like I'm not going to try to
yeah.
undo this. So like let's just drink all the sparkling water. In 10 years we'll find out how it was killing us. But it's better
Yeah.
than
Sure.
Gushers, Fruit by the Foot and Kudos.
And Tang. Remember Tang?
Tank. Yeah, yeah. Oh, can you get out of outer space like for 5 seconds? Like
I did bring it right back around. That was intentional.
You did. You brought it to space, to Tang, and well done. Well done. Respect. Is your like, okay, so I know you're switching up your career stuff where you're going to be more full-time painter and everything. Whenever you aren't
Yes.
painting and doing that stuff, are you just hanging out with your kids? Because I mean, your oldest is in school. Your second one is about to start kindergarten, right? Or are they already in
That's
kindergarten?
right. Yeah, no, you got it. So she'll start in the fall, and then I've got the 3-year-old who's still daycare age, and then the new one on the way. So yeah,
Hmm.
when I'm kind of part-time mom at home, part-time painter right now. I recently, very recently, like weeks ago, just said
Yeah.
goodbye to a, decade plus long career as a physician assistant in reconstructive surgery.
Hmm.
And I currently am keeping up on my licensure. I don't know when will be the right time to go back to that. It was a job that it scratched a lot of itches for me in many ways. I love working with patients. I really enjoyed the mostly breast cancer patient population that I worked with.
Hmm.
Felt, especially as I get older, more and more like all those patients were me. They're
Yeah. Yeah.
moms, are people who have busy, active lives that have been completely interrupted in a way that they didn't anticipate. And so they're dealing with a lot of social, emotional, logistical challenges along with their cancer
Hmm.
diagnosis.
Yeah.
And I think that I will really miss a lot of the precision and the focus that I got working that job, and being in the OR was really a satisfying part of my life. And at the same time, it was the most inflexible career I could have picked.
Hmm.
For free kids. You can't outsource surgery, and you can't work from home, and you can't interrupt it in the middle to go pick up a sick kid. A lot of that is really, it's been challenging for a long time. And I think going into kid number 4, I knew I needed to have one job.
Hmm.
And the painting story, I'll give you like the elevator version of that. So I've always really had these like two sides of my brain. There's like this precise type A analytical surgery side. And then the other side, which is like everything else. And my love affair with art and with painting really started as a kid, as everyone's does. And then I rediscovered it in college, ended up minoring in fine art. And I would come home from these long shifts as a PA. The beginning of my career, I started out in the emergency department. I would go work a shift, like a 12-hour shift, come home, be completely exhausted, and still have this thing in me where I needed to paint. And I would clear off our dining room table and paint, dead tired. And I just couldn't stop doing it. And finally, after my third kid was born, my wonderful husband was like, you really just need to do this because you keep doing it on our dining room table with no time in the dark. Maybe you should try to do it. He roped me in by being like, just for a little bit, You know, like when Mary, our third, when Mary's young, you can just do it for a little bit. Of course, it was like wonderful to finally really dedicate childcare hours to something that I'm so passionate about. The biggest gift in my present life probably is just the permission to be able to do that. And I've been really fortunate and I've worked hard. And so it's grown. And I think that being able to take it and grow it into something that can help support us and can be a satisfying job feels like a huge accomplishment. And I don't know what to do with all the other parts of myself, but I know that a surgeon I worked with that I really admire once said to me, you know, you can do everything, you just can't do it all at once. So I'm holding on to that right now. Like right now is my time to have a fourth kid and to pursue the art. And we'll see what the next 5 and 10 years bring. I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm still just so happy because like in general, I also find as I get older, finding what I need someone to look at me and say, hey, it's good if you do this. Like, hey, it's good if you explore this is like, I think why you have a partner, why you have a spouse is because, it is really easy to be like, oh no, like it's actually not a big deal. I don't need to rent studio space. We shouldn't spend our budget on studio space. We shouldn't spend money on finding a sitter or something like that while your husband is looking and being like, just go do it. Like, what's it cost? Like this rearrange, whatever. Cause like, I would rather you know yourself and this version of yourself and who you become than you piecemealing it together. So like go do that for you and know that once you do that for you, you're going to make this is going to be cool for everyone. This isn't actually just, it is you, but it's also like, it makes things better for everyone. So go do that. Go explore it.
It really does. And it's been amazing to see. I have been shocked at how many kids really find the story of being an artist as a job really cool.
Yeah.
Of course they do. That's not, I guess, so surprising. But I think that it's surprising to me that my own kids, who more intimately know like my life and what my two jobs were, respect both jobs very equally and see them with the same amount of reverence, which I just wouldn't have, you know, I don't know. We really love to hold up all of our healthcare workers in our society as we should. Art is a lot more nebulous and a lot more of an untrodden path and has uncertain outcomes. And to see the change that it's made in my kids in their looking at options for life is really cool.
Yeah. Well, it's a good reminder of what's been embedded in you and what you need to unlearn also. Because yes, if I know someone who's a doctor or a lawyer and they're like, I'm leaving this position, I'm like, you're leaving security, you're leaving purpose. You spent so much time to go through training to do this. Like, how is that the right decision? And your kids are like, oh, are you happy? Is this something that's cool?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. It's so simple and I overcomplicate everything. And that's just good to be aware of.
It's so simple. And it's so, it's not also, I think what's interesting is that sometimes when I'm talking about like this decision I've made, I think maybe the thing that I project on other people is that they're thinking like, oh, that's so sweet that she like gets to do her hobby and it must be so much easier. And I would say it's definitely easier to get out the door in the morning when you're not trying to make a case start time. Of course, that's way easier. But pursuing something that has an uncertain outcome is more difficult in a lot of other ways. And and also I'm way happier. So it's like, it's not even that it necessarily needs to be easier for it to make you happier.
Well, I think like with creative stuff, like it sounds so hippie, it sounds so obnoxious, and I get that. But like whenever you show up to paint, you have an idea of what you want the painting to be. Whenever you sit down to play an instrument, you have an idea of what you want it to be, but you really don't know until you get started. Whereas like if you do surgery on someone, like you've got a whole plan up front. Like you don't wing it when it comes to reconstructive surgery. It's been prepping out, probably lots of consultation. You know exactly, like there's a structure to it that you need to make sure it all gets upheld. Whereas opposed to like, I'm going to paint, I'm pretty sure it's going to be about a mountain. I'm not sure which one.
Yeah.
I'll figure out when I get there. It's just a drastically different mindset.
Totally. And it's funny because surgery is like, you nailed it. It's so precise. There's actually not a lot of, on a good day in surgery, there's not a lot of stress. A lot of people are like, oh, a surgical job, is that so stressful? It's like, if we're doing it right, no, there's like very little stress because you're like an airline pilot, like you're ticking all the boxes. You're doing things the exact same way every time, hopefully. There are definitely stressful moments in surgery, but you work hard to make sure that those are very rare. And art is like about cracking yourself open and exploring the unknown. I love the idea that, you know, I paint a lot of landscapes, but really they're all about whatever my internal state is at the time. And the landscapes that are within us, kind of like, you know, very Walt Whitman, the multitudes that we all contain. And I don't know which one's going to come out on whatever day. I have a pretty good idea, but sometimes you do have to just get started and it shows up while you're working.
Yeah. I'm sure you also, though, can tell, like if you relook at where you're in painting, it's like, oh man, these brush strokes are heavy handed. I wondered what I was doing. Like what mentally, where was I? Like I can definitely tell editing podcast episodes like, oh, I was really needy in this segment here. Like there's some part of me that wanted a validation from a stranger. And then I course corrected. But like, you look at your art, whatever your creative output is, and you're like, oh, that, like, you notice these little, I also have some perfectionist tendencies where I look at something I've created and I'm like, oh, this is who I was that day. And that is such a fascinating form of self-acceptance that is really hard sometimes.
It's vulnerable in ways that I didn't anticipate when I set out to be like, I really enjoy painting. I'm going to try to paint.
Yeah.
And I didn't anticipate needing to encounter that vulnerability so often. And it turns out it's like a daily practice when you're creating anything. And the like very frustrating part about being a perfectionist, like you touched on too, is being able to throw it out like spaghetti on the wall and know that it's not saying everything about you. You don't have to justify every little thing and make it a perfect thing that encapsulates who you are and what you make and what you can do. It is allowed to be incomplete and just have flaws and not tell the whole story.
Yep.
It's okay. I recently went to see a bunch of art. We took this like moment in time where we were like, all right, all of our kids are out of diapers and no one's napping. We could travel. We could do it. So I went and saw a bunch of art. It was amazing. And the thing that I was thinking when I was looking at all of this, like Monet and all these things in museums, is like, oh my gosh, especially when you look at the works that are like lesser known. I love looking at those and thinking about how this is going to sound very, very judgy of me, but how they're not complete. And sometimes they're not even that. There are like technical issues with them. And as an artist, I think I see them more now. And it's so healing as a creator to look at these works that people have framed in these fancy frames and put in museums and everybody pays to see, and to realize it's just like a little part of this artist's story and doesn't even come close to like their master work or whatever. You know, I mean, it's just a little piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're talking about B-sides for artists, basically. You're talking about the deep cuts for artists. You're going back to the first album, song 5, that no one's ever really paid attention to, is what you're doing with artists. Yeah.
Yeah. And they recorded it and they put it on an album. And I'm so glad they did. Right? It gives us all permission.
It does. But it is, no, that's cool. That's, I don't know if this will relate to you or not, but like, if I do music for the podcast, I usually do it myself because I've had it before where I've tried to use friends' music. I've gotten there and like verbally have said, this is cool. But then I posted, then YouTube or someone is like, hey, you can't post this. And I'm like, well, crap, now I have to blah, 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 blah. So I'll just record something on guitar instead. And I will do it like in 2 takes, because if I do it in much more than that, I'm going to I'm going to hear everything I did wrong. So I've learned to be like, just do it. Just shut up and do it. You're getting in your own way. Does that relate to you at all? Where you're just kind of like, all right, man, like stop. Like this is going to connect.
Absolutely.
Just go out there and do it. You're okay, cool. Yeah.
Absolutely. In fact, I don't know, my art journey, like I have this really, really perfectionistic side of me that wants to make everything rendered perfectly. Like I want to get all of,
Hmm.
if I'm painting a tree, the art student in me is really obsessed with like the exact hue, saturation, value of this part of the
Yeah.
bark and how it relates to the next part and how do I do it and make it perfectly. The depth is just right. And, that's fascinating. I love looking at art that's so you can see the sweat behind it. That's a
Hmm.
whole like form of art. It's fascinating to look at. But the things that I really emotionally respond to aren't that at all. That's personal. I mean, everyone likes different kinds of art, but I love abstract expressionism. I love a piece that just makes me feel something. And for
Hmm.
me to be a creator of something of in that genre of visual art is a completely different experience. And it's often better if I leave it as raw as possible. I'll ruin
Hmm.
it if I try to go back in and perfect
Yeah,
it
pretty much.
and change and adjust. Like I ruin it. I absolutely ruin the feeling. It goes in the trash. I've done it multiple times where I
Really?
make
Okay. Yeah.
something
Yeah.
I love. And then I'm like, oh, but if I just fixed it, like this little part could be
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Nope. It's always worse.
Yep. Yep. I'll
Yep.
try to do that with like adding like keys or synths behind. I'm like, oh, this will make the song feel more full. And I'm like, it's distracting and noisy. Stop it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool, just get more bare because my mind loves to overcomplicate things. And it's a great thing to have kids because they keep everything so simple. And I
Yeah.
just like to make things messy. It's how I feel someday. It's a harsh criticism of self, but it's also feels true
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah, yeah, I can relate so much to that.
Well, okay, so like this say it also like I don't know. I think art parenting is phenomenal because it just makes you constantly aware of new ways in which you need to be accepting and loving of yourself. And I think like that's if anyone is like gonna have a kid, I'm like, oh man, you are going to like find new depths of love and self understanding. I really hope you're on a journey of self love and understanding because you're going to be so much of yourself is going to be reflected back to you, and you're going to realize that you're okay. And that's
Mhm.
kind of terrifying whenever you first get into it.
And when you think that it's gonna be a big project of perfecting yourself,
Hmm.
and it
Yeah.
turns out it's accepting yourself
Yeah.
where you actually
Yeah.
grow. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much. Okay. I haven't asked you much about your fourth child. How are you anticipating having a fourth child? How's your mental space with that? How do you feel, besides like the whole birth and labor with a destroyed leg and all that stuff? How do you feel about
Yeah,
you're going
yeah.
to have like 4 kids running around the house? Yeah.
I'm really hoping that it is uh, I'm hoping that it feels way easier than the other ones, which it might be a little delusional, but
It
we
is.
did
It
have a
is.
daughter who had a lot of feeding issues. She had feeding aversion. She had to be tube fed for a long
Yeah.
time. And that was a whole journey. And that was a very hard transition. Of course, it
Hmm.
was a hard transition. And so then the baby, that was my second daughter. So then the baby that came after that, I was like, oh, awesome. She eats great. Like this feels way easier,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But it was also having 3 kids. And I think it'll probably
Hmm.
be my headspace is, I hope, balanced in that I have, unlike having my first child where I had a lot of expectations for myself, I have very few
Hmm.
expectations for myself with this one. The expectation is
Yeah.
I pour my love into this new baby the best that I
Hmm.
can. I keep the baby fed and warm and attended to, and I keep my other kids fed and warm and attended to, and everyone
Hmm.
stays safe and deals with their inevitable disappointments about the lack of constant energy that I can give everything all at once in a way that makes sense for their age and temperament. That's how I think it'll actually go. It'll be like a big mix cuz people will like my other kids will love this baby. They're awesome
Yeah.
siblings. They're going to love this baby so much. And they're going to be super disappointed when I'm not able to take them on a
Hmm.
solo bike ride at 10 a.m. because I can't. I can't. Um,
Yeah.
I've got a baby now. Can't do that. The baby
Yeah.
needs stuff. Other kids need stuff. But they already do feel those disappointments, and we already deal with that. And I think perhaps I think there's no wrong kind of family for sure. But the benefit of having a larger family, which I feel like with 3 kids, you and I already fall in that category for most families in
Hmm.
America statistically. And so I think the baked in benefit of that is just that they live in a world where they have no other choice but to deal with their disappointments on a daily basis.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's
I
fair.
think that it'll probably be a great mix of that for the rest of my kids. I'm really excited to have another baby though. I think that
Yeah. Yeah.
like the romantic mom in me is just super pumped to go into this 4th round and know that no matter how hard or easy it is, the baby is going to be perfect for our family,
Yeah.
and we're gonna
Yeah.
pour our love into this baby, and it's our caboose. So this is sort of the last
Hmm.
round that I get to that, and I think that that makes all
Yeah.
of the hard stuff easier.
Yeah. I think that's how we felt with Josh, was very much like, okay, this is going to be our last one. Like, this
Mhm.
is it. We're done. And then you approach everything differently. For our first 2 kids, I still worked whenever Heather was pregnant and whenever the
Yeah.
baby was born. It wasn't until like Magnolia turned 1 that I actually quit working. So yeah, for Josh, it was like,
Mhm.
all right, let's not do this right, but like, this is our chance to be like, all right, here's where I wish we would have done this way. Now let's actually have a
Yeah.
chance to do it this way.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just freaking hopefully be present for it, be there for it. Cause it's
Yeah.
what you want. So don't mentally be somewhere else, because the life you're living is the life you wanted. So like, be here for it, you know?
Absolutely. And it's gonna be uncomfortable, and it's
It
still
will
what you
be.
wanted. And it's yeah, and I think that that maybe is the biggest gift of going into round 4 is just knowing what I know about, well, this is the type of discomfort I'm gonna feel. I'm gonna be very tired.
Yeah.
But you know what? I've been very
Yeah.
tired before, and it's
Hmm.
all okay. Like it comes back
Yeah.
around. I'm not gonna always have this like baby. That's what I'm not always
Yeah.
gonna have. 'Cause everything is always changing. And so that's the gift, is knowing what the gift is.
Yeah. Pretty much. And it's the present. Sorry, that was
The
awful. That was an
present.
awful dad joke. I'm so
Present.
sorry. That was
You're getting just so good at
atrocious.
those. Yeah.
Oh my God. It is just, I tried to do the whatever arm thing for it.
Those
Like it was this of a sitcom. I should have done more deadpan just to see if you got that I was trying to do a joke or not. Would have been good, but I couldn't do it. I
well,
couldn't
notes
commit
for
to it.
next time, you know. We
Notes
all have
for
room to
next
grow.
time. Mm. Okay, I am going to start wrapping down the episode because I'm going to actually try to keep it to an hour and actually feel like I'm somewhat professional and know what I'm doing. So that's, the hope of
Nice.
this. So,
Awesome.
Jennifer, first of all, here's not one of the 5 questions. I will always only call you Jennifer. I can't call you Jen. Do most people actually call you Jen, or are you Jennifer to other people? Because you've always been Jennifer. You always be a Jennifer to me.
You know what? My brand name is Jennifer McCaffrey Art. So
Okay,
I
cool. Just
thank
make it okay,
you
cool.
for your
Yeah,
loyalty to that.
you're welcome.
Jen's just like fewer syllables. You know, it's for all us
Okay.
lazy people.
Yeah. Yeah, I am all
Yeah.
for taking the long way and much more complicated way to doing things. That's
There you
basically what
go.
I'm trying to
Yeah,
communicate
that
here.
tracks.
Yeah, that's
Spinning.
fair. That's fair. It's like this, just do it. Just make it more complicated for some reason and assume it brings you love for some reason. Anyway, so Jennifer, how I end every episode is ask every guest a series of 5 questions. First question
I'm
is,
ready.
what were backup names? What were backup names for your kids? What were the other very Irish sounding names that you almost named your kids?
Oh my gosh, yeah. So yeah, we have Cormac, Nell, and Mary. I love Ruby, and my husband loves Rudy. I think it's because we were really obsessed with the nickname Rue, which one of my best friends has a dog named Rue, and I still love it. I'm like, that's just, I don't know why. It's really cute. That's the main one that I can give you. Rue.
Okay. For your 4th kid, have you found out gender, all that?
Nope. Mystery.
Oh,
But I don't know. I'll go down on record saying I'm getting boy vibes, but I don't know. I don't know.
okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. I think naming boys is harder than naming girls. Do you agree with
for
that
sure.
sentiment?
Oh my gosh, it's
Yeah.
way harder. I have a list of 50 girl names I love and maybe 2 boy names.
Yep. Yep. Well, it's
Sad.
like girl names are like whimsical and charming and
Yeah.
fun and cute. And boy names are just like Corky or Devin with an O, whichever one you're going for, you know?
Right. Yeah,
Which is
exactly.
a life of being mispronounced and misspelled by everyone who's never met you before. It's just kind of what you could say you're get up for.
That is, I mean, I do feel like your parents probably gave you the gift of resilience there. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yep.
that
Yeah, that's what they were going for. They were
was
like,
the
you know
gift.
what, this
That's
kid's
what they were
just
going
gonna.
for.
We know we're going to raise a smartass, so let's just go ahead and start. Let's just start. He's gonna have
Let's
to deal with
start
people saying his
there.
name wrong
We're gonna
constantly.
bake it
Yeah,
in. He'll never escape
take it in.
it. This feels correct.
Never.
Yeah.
Correct. Yep. And then never mind. Anyway, next question. Okay, so I might change this to more book related because I feel like you read a ton of books. I've always read a ton of books. If you had
I
to
love
choose like
books.
favorite TV, movie, or book, literary mom, who would that be? Or what comes to mind first?
I love Molly Weasley from Harry Potter a lot.
Yeah, that tracks. Yep. That tracks. Yep.
Maybe it's because we just got chickens this year too. I'm really leaning into the, big family crazy yard. Love that vibe.
Yeah.
So that's my
That's just
answer.
okay. I just want to do you guys have a reputation on the neighborhood yet? I'm just kind of like, oh God, they're having their kid. They got
Yeah.
chickens. Like what?
But yeah,
Okay,
the
yeah. Okay.
chickens frequently escape to the front yard, and then our neighbors will be like, "Hey, there's a chicken." We're like, "Thanks." Then we send
Appreciate
Nell,
it.
my 5-year-old, to get it because she's the best chicken catcher. And so the chaos is already full steam. We definitely have a reputation, and I'm here for it. It's good for me. It's humbling me.
I really love that one of your kids is the chicken whisperer. Like, okay, guys,
Oh,
we
yeah.
got which chicken is it? We got it. Who's got the best relationship with that chicken in which they can talk them into coming back home?
She was absolutely a farmer in another life, this girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's hilarious about how much she loves the chickens. Like she sings them the lullaby from Frozen 2. And then one of our chickens did pass. It was our first chicken death. And I was
Yeah.
the most nervous to tell her about it. And she was the one that was like, "Are we going to have chicken soup?" I was like, "What? You're not devastated right now? You're wondering if we're going to eat the chicken?"
My God. Wait.
Yeah.
So that also implies that
I'm a
you
girl.
or Pete would know how to butcher a chicken and prep it
Right.
and have it ready to go, which is also next
Right.
level.
Real nice. But she was like, I'm glad that she saw me as so capable, Thanks,
Yeah, that's
Nell.
fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for I really respect the confidence that your daughter has in your chicken cooking, skinning abilities.
Right. Yeah. Unfortunately, we didn't know the cause of death, so we had to hedge
Yeah, that's
on like,
probably
well, this chicken could be
Yeah.
diseased. We gotta wait it out and see. So no, we are not
Yeah.
having chicken soup,
Okay.
but we can have a chicken funeral. So we met in the middle.
I really like the thought of you being really literal with your daughter and being like, no, seriously, kid, like it could have diseases, it could have so many things wrong with it. And like we're
That's exactly what I
gonna go
told
to
her. And
we're gonna
as
go to Costco
right.
instead.
We're gonna go to Costco and I'll let you get whatever snacks you want that'll sit in our pantry for 3
Exactly.
months untouched.
Maybe the chickens would like mushrooms.
Actually, I think I'm gonna feed the chickens the mushrooms today.
Okay.
That's my goal.
Okay.
That's my plan. I cannot look at
That's
those
what you're
mushrooms
doing.
anymore. Clearly, they're haunting me enough that I came on a podcast and talked about it.
It did. Yeah. The joys of trying to people please your children, fully knowing they will not be happy with this decision. It's great.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
Great.
What is that? I should unpack that in my next therapy session.
Well, maybe. Okay. Next question. What's your go-to replacement curse word? I don't feel like I think of you as someone who curses a lot. What's like you stub your toe, chicken escapes and it won't come back. What do you say at that chicken? What do you scream at that chicken?
I wish that I had a replacement. I just say all the words quietly. But the kids hear them for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully by saying them quietly, you're teaching them to say the words quietly and not scream them.
Yeah, you're right. I'm modeling. And I will say sometimes if I want to express like loud disappointment, we use the Bluey's dad, biscuits.
Biscuits, yeah.
Yeah, biscuits the replacement in our household.
What was your parents? Did your parents have a replacement curse word?
No. Shoot. All the Midwestern ones.
Shoot. Yeah.
Darn. Darn it,
Dadgum.
shoot. Dadgummit. Yeah, exactly.
And crackers, all that stuff.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Yep. Yes. Okay. You also just don't, once your kid starts repeating them at school, that's whenever you find a replacement curse word. You say biscuits even
That's when
more.
you're like, okay, we shouldn't. Yeah.
Next question. What's like favorite toy activity like that you do with your kids?
Oh man. Yeah, everyone always thinks it's gonna be art. It is not. It turns out I really like to do that as a solo activity. I love it when my kids are drawing and painting, and we have a million art supplies. But I can't say it's like my favorite thing to do with them. I really love magnetiles.
Yeah,
Man,
they're
they
awesome.
just they hit every time. They're the
Yeah.
best. Yeah. Yeah, love that. Honestly though, I kind of am in this stage of parenting where I feel like toys are a scam and all my kids want to play with is the furniture and the laundry baskets and blankets. And so, truly,
Yeah.
like I'm getting
Ugh.
rid of so much stuff for this fourth kid and everyone around me is like, "Well, don't you want to keep it for the fourth?" And I'm like, "No. The fourth kid is
Mm-mm.
going to be barefoot in the yard and they're going to play with the furniture and the pillows and the laundry baskets. That's what they're going to play with. And the magnetile. We'll keep those."
And yeah. Well, that's because you can build stuff with the magnetiles to put the blankets and pillows on. Or they need, once
Yeah.
they're in the pillow or blanket for it, they need something to do inside of it. And that's what magnetiles are for.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how holidays, I'm like, no fun on the holidays because I'm like, ugh, this is just future garbage. But truly, I think my kids play
Yeah.
better when there's fewer things around. They're really good at
Yeah.
playing with sticks, you know?
Well,
Yeah.
I think there's some line of logic of like, oh God, we have like 70,000 stuffed animals and we like try to put some
Mhm.
of them in storage or something like that, or with toys. Because yeah, if like right now, if you gave me 3,000 options, I'd be like, I don't know the hell I want to do. But if you give me like three, yeah, it's a little bit easier.
Like, I could pick my favorite. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We
Yeah.
do have, this is making it sound like we have no toys in my house. We have a ton of toys in my house
None.
and we have a million Legos. The Legos are really, yeah, the Legos are it. I love Legos though. I think Legos are an
Yeah,
ultimate toy. Yeah,
they are.
they're
I
great.
was going to assume that you were going to say hiking, but then I remembered that you haven't really probably been able to trust yourself to walk for like a year or two without wondering if you're going to
Yeah.
destroy your legs.
Yeah, exactly. My kids really do. They are very good hikers though. They're very good hikers. We always bring, this is my tip for hiking, is if you bring like
Yeah.
a singular prop, like if you have a magnifying glass or a net, that can really
Hmm.
go a long ways on a hike because then you can just be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
do you think there is I think I just heard something in that bush 20 feet ahead. Can you run and check with your magnifying
Mm-hmm.
glass to see it?"
Yeah.
And then before they know it, they've gone, you know, 2 miles and you're like, great job, 3-year-old.
Yep. You
Yeah.
did great. We do like you can buy like nature hike books in which they have like checklists and scavenger hunts. We'll do that.
Well, that's
And I'll
cool.
bring a
I've never
back.
tried that.
Yeah, I'll bring a backpack with me because I know if it's a 2 mile walk, half a mile into it, they'll be somewhat bored with it. And then they'll want to put it up. And then half a mile later, they'll be intrigued by it. So just wear the backpack
Yeah.
and know you're going to carry
Yeah.
kid stuff.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I mean, the power of a little Costco snack pack in that moment it's gold.
Are we okay? Listen, I didn't know that I needed this podcast to be sponsored by Costco snacks,
Like
but
Costco.
apparently I need to have.
Hope
Let's just go
Costco's gonna
after
like
this.
what I have to say about them though. I don't know.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. That's true. But just as
It
long as
was
you don't
mixed.
insult the hot dogs, yeah, just like the snacks you get, it's a mixed bag.
It's a mixed bag, just like life.
That was an attempt to tie it all together. Okay, last question. What is your least favorite kids show? Like kids go to watch it, you're like,
Oh,
sucks.
so easy.
Which
This
one
is
is it?
so easy. It's
Yeah.
so bad that PBS took it off the air. It doesn't exist anymore. But when Mac, my oldest, was like, I don't know, 3 or something, Caillou was still on the air. Are you familiar with Caillou? The most annoying kid on the
Jennifer,
planet. Hate that kid.
Jennifer. Okay.
So
So
annoyed by
not
Caillou.
only Caillou is the number one answer to this question.
I hate that kid. I can't
It
handle
is
Caillou.
I have never watched an episode of Caillou. I don't even want to find Caillou, but it is such a consistent, like I thought Cocomelon was going to be the number one answer. I totally assumed
Hate that
because
show.
it's like brain
Hate
rot,
that show a
awful.
lot.
It's
Yeah.
real bad. But like everyone is like, have you ever seen Caillou? And like it's this moment for like release of anger that I did not anticipate from, I'm gonna say 70% of parents that come on this podcast.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is? It's like teaches your kids the things you're trying to unteach them.
Mm-hmm.
Caillou is the model of terrible toddler behavior that I'm trying to escape in my life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because he just, I don't know an attribute he has that anyone has tried to justify to me. Like everyone is like, his voice is whiny. He doesn't do stuff for himself. He moans. Like everything about that kid is like, if my kid played with that kid, I'd be like, we no longer talk to that family. Just fully excommunicated.
I would be going out the side door to avoid eye contact with that family. 1000%.
Would you would just Irish goodbye them? Just be like, oh, I guess they left. I guess they're gone. So we're going to go to the bathroom at our house. We have to go.
I would send a text back later that's like, emergency. We had to go.
We had to go. It was real bad.
The emergency was, I couldn't handle this anymore.
What's that? Yeah, that's fair. So yeah, no, trust me. It is the number one answer. I don't think it'll be dethroned. So you're not alone in your Caillou hatred and rage.
Yeah, it's worse.
Okay. And then last thing for you is moment for self-promotion. So like, hey, how do we find your art? If I'm in Bend, Oregon, and I want to see your art in person, like, how do I do all this? Do some self-promotion.
Yeah, so I am actively painting here in Bend every week. I have a studio space right above Sister's Coffee in the Old Mill called The Stacks that I share with 4 other amazing artists. So come up and visit us. We all have websites as well. Mine is jennifermccaffrey.com, and you can find me on the socials. I'm at Jennifer McCaffrey Art on Instagram and have newly really dived into and appreciate the Substack platform. So I'm going to be spending more time there.
Nice. Look, that was concise. It was good. Well done. Look at that self-promotion.
Thank you.
So proud
Gotten
of
better. Gotten better.
That's good. It takes a while. Thank you for doing an episode.
This is such an honor. The caliber of people you have on your show is so high. I can't believe that I'm on here. I'm so honored.
I also can't believe that I'm on this podcast with some of the cool guests. I'm just like, you guys, like, how about I just have a couple of you guys on?
You should talk.
And you guys talk about, you should talk because you're going to be a lot more interesting than I am. So that's good. And of course,
awesome.
Most important detail is that I do now, as if I wouldn't have already done it, I do now especially owe you a baked good for coming on the podcast. So just know
you do not
that
owe me anything. I am so honored to be on here. And I don't think the bread would ship well.
I hear the challenge. And I will figure this out. So that is basically what I'm hearing.
So evil of me if I actually had the intention of just making it a gauntlet for you by saying that.
Yeah, no, listen, it's just lean into the Taurus of who I am and it'll work in your favor sometimes. It won't. I would never do such a thing. Well, I'll figure that out. And because you can't travel because you're pregnant and your legs are broken, basically.
My body is broken.
Really
I'm a shell of my former physical self. Yeah, I'm only a spiritual being now.
That's good. That's not, you are Grandma Tala in Moana. You are a stingray to come and guide us.
Yes.
In our
That's
critical
my ultimate.
moment. Yeah.
That's my ultimate goal. I want to be her.
Who doesn't? Okay. Listen, I really appreciate you taking the time to do a call. Thanks for just hanging out with me for a bit. I always love talking to you. Most tenured friend.
Great.
I can't call you most oldest friend because I feel like calling oldest friend implies that you're old, and I don't feel like that's a respectful thing to do.
Tenured feels really respectable. And I like the idea of tenure.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't come with any benefits. Like I don't give you a pension.
I'm on your
you just
podcast.
Get more that's okay. That's true. And that's why as part of the benefit of tenure was that you get to do a podcast episode as if that's something
that
people
feels like that's part of
do.
my benefits package. Yeah.
Yeah. And potential baked goods. That's the other part of the benefits package. And knowing your deepest, darkest fears, but not, making jokes about them. That's the other bond we have,
Thank you. That was really kind of you. You're a great interviewer.
Thanks. I talk a lot for some reason. So Anyway, hey, Jennifer, care about you a ton and enjoy the rest of your day, okay?
Thank you so much. You too. Bye, friends.
Perfect. See ya.
Thank you so much for listening to the episode. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at the Imperfect Dads Podcast. And make sure to give us 5 stars wherever you listen to us. Music, editing, and production is all done by me. Make sure to tune in on Mondays and most Thursdays for new episodes. This podcast is part of the Never a Face Network. Make sure to go to neverafacednetwork.com to learn more about them.